Day 2 of the Trump impeachment trial. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. We'll have that story in just a moment. But first, we begin in Upper Marlboro with word of a police officer under indictment. A grand jury has returned an 11-count indictment against a former Fairmount Heights police officer accused of rape. The man in the center of all of this is Martique Vanderpool. He's accused of raping a woman inside the police station where he worked back on September 6th of last year. Vanderpool is charged with first and second degree rape, attempting to transfer HIV, and engaging in a sex act with a person in custody. During the investigation, it was determined that Vanderpool is HIV positive.
The person who has HIV does not disclose that information to his or her partner. There's potential to charge for that as a crime as well.
This conduct creates in me concerns that we have other people who may have been impacted, whether as the victims of crime or in relationships with the individual in question.
Now, it's not clear at this time if the victim contracted the virus if you were assaulted by Vanderpool or had consensual sex with him. Prince George's police want to speak with you. That contact information is 301-856-2660. Meantime, victims can receive anonymous HIV testing through the county health department. Switching gears here, a local sports legend and Hall of Fame coach passes away.
Chris Marks here now with the details.
That's right. We are talking about a big loss here in the DMV, a sad day in the DMV, as a nationwide legendary coach, the Matha head coach, Morgan Wootten, passed away last night. Wootten coached the Stags for 46 years, winning 1,274 games, 33 WCAC championships, and 5 high school national titles. He was inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in 2000, becoming just the 3rd high school coach to achieve that honor. Wooten's legacy touched many coaches in the area, and today we talked to 2 of those, Lewis Wilson of Wise High School and Brenda Fries of the Lady Terps.
We lost a tremendous mentor, a tremendous man, a tremendous coach, a trailblazer, a pioneer in high school coaching basketball. Yes, the world has missed one of the greatest coaches of all time for high school basketball.
He meant so much to this community, you know, and to the game. I mean, when you talk about the minute I walked foot on campus, you know, was a name I learned very early in my career, and just everything he did for young people and for coaches. And yeah, I was, you know, blessed to be able to have had the chance to meet him.
I just remember vaguely on Saturday mornings, a young high school coach by the name of Lewis Wilson, at the age of 24 years old, getting his first coaching job at Frederick Douglass High School. And every Saturday morning I would wake up and get to the television because I wanted to get there because I wanted to see Morgan Wootten teach and talk about basketball. He had a show called The Fast Break, and the Fast Break taught everybody about how to play the game the right way, taught the kids how to use their footwork, how to use their hands, proper defensive stance, all the fundamental things, passing, triple threat, the whole 9 yards. And I learned a lot from Coach Wootten in that show.
Morgan Wootten was 88 years old.
In national news, House managers begin presenting 3 days of opening arguments today in the Senate impeachment trial of President Trump. Trump faces charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The case centers around an allegation that Trump withheld military aid and pressured Ukraine to investigate his political rival, former Vice President Joe Biden, and his son Hunter.
And even as we struggle to understand how the framers might have responded to presidential misconduct of the kind and character that we are here to try, we should not imagine for one moment that they lacked basic common sense or refuse to apply it ourselves.
I got to watch glimpses of what is taking place, wasting time in Washington, and I watched, they don't talk about my conversation. They don't talk about my transcripts.
Now, the Senate also adopted ground rules for the impeachment trial, but delayed a decision on witnesses.
A guilty plea tonight from a former Maryland delegate, Cheryl Glenn of Baltimore City, had been accused of taking $34,000 in bribes for helping push through legislation that would benefit marijuana companies. Glenn was the lead sponsor of a bill that created the state's medical marijuana program and an advocate for making sure minority businesses were included. Glenn is the 6th Maryland lawmaker to face criminal charges related to fraud or bribery in 2 years. Suicide is a public health crisis in Anne Arundel County. Lawmakers made the declaration in a unanimous vote last night. There were 209 documented gun deaths in Anne Arundel between 2013 and 2017. More than 140 were determined to be suicides. The vote is expected to lead to more funding for mental health services.